Okay. Looks like the stream, everything is running proficiently. I hope that the volume is at a decent level. I just turned down the music. So what I was trying to do was stream the music through the computer, and thus the music would be also going, I guess, into OBS in a different way. That way the music was kind of very clear and had a lot of clarity, but I'm not certain if I really like that. I'll be able to determine more when I listen to the stream later on, but right now I have the music flowing through the actual TV from the PS4 through Spotify to my television, which in turn I think has more resonance when it's in the room. It's not actually going through the speakers of the computer. So what I was afraid of is that I would also get a reverb from having the music kind of flow through the computer. But I'll have to do some more testing. I got to figure out ways to to kind of manufacture some testing, and to also sound, I believe, is probably a weakness. So let me turn on the camera. I think we are all set. So we've got a different setup here. Still have to get used to it myself, but I was trying to get the camera angle a little bit more visible and allow me to just look up and be able to look into the camera, and hopefully I am in the camera's range. So off to the right I have all of my computer accessories, and I can see the monitor, the view that you're actually seeing out there, and it seems to be okay. Hopefully I'm getting good eye contact. That's what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, so I have my hey Lizette, how are you today? Sounds pretty good, thank you very much. So being online, you start to or really watching a lot of YouTube videos, I start to pick up on different ways to make the technology and make the stream kind of work out better, the production value of it. My camera angles, I'm starting to like those now. I'm not right in the view of the artwork, and then the second camera kind of gives more of a shot that's shows you, I guess, me in action. So hopefully that's pretty good. So welcome YouTube viewers, welcome Twitch viewers. If anybody joins us today, really appreciate that. So I guess I'll get started with the fact that it's really nice out in New York and I'm enjoying the weather. Took me a long time to get started here today. Been setting up and doing a couple of different things. And I had to purchase some stuff online, and then also watching some good videos. And I started actually last night. I purchased an online course for acrylic painting, so I'm really excited about that, and I hope to start bringing some of that artwork onto the stream. But we will today wrap out the Airbrush Denim NY Strong jacket and hopefully put this one to bed. We've got a couple of things to do. I still want to do the sleeves. I did some work on this off camera, and everything is in its place. The only thing that I really want to fix is this Chrysler building, and I may put an American flag right here. From seeing some pictures of the Brooklyn Bridge, there's a lot of images that have the flag there, so that I'll do a little small flag, and that would complete this feeling that I was trying to achieve. Oh, we also have to do Rockefeller Center completely. Got to finish him up. All right, so we're gonna just get started. Oh, so I pulled out my keys. This is one of my favorite little doohickeys right here. Anybody can see that. It's a little Airbrush bottle opener. Right now it's pretty much a key weight on my keychain, but hopefully we'll be cracking open some brewskis very soon. Anyway, as I mentioned, I have some nice fresh air coming into the garage, and pretty excited to see that the sun is out, and just nice free-flowing accessibility. All right, so we haven't really tested any of the brushes yet today. Actually, I did a little bit of white earlier, and it seems pretty clean. So let's turn on the reference. What kind of messages were those? Nothing? Okay. So I'm trying to be... Oh, thank you, cousin. So I guess Messenger does not pop up on my chat window over here. I have to figure out, there's got to be a way to see all of the chats all at once, and be certain that everything is still going, because sometimes the windows freeze up and you end up like wondering if the stream is going live correctly, but sometimes you just got to go with the flow. Alrighty then, so the Chrysler building. So I had a plan for this, and I wasn't too impressed how it came out. I don't want to completely rewrite this or do this over, but I think I may end up doing that. It just doesn't have the peel that I'm looking for in knowing that's exactly what this building is, you know? So, regardless of the fact that there's artwork there, a lot of times people are like, oh my god, what do you do with all that artwork that's already there? Well, I'm just going to go over it and start rehashing something that I feel should be there. And hopefully I'll get it right this time. So, if you can't see what I'm going to use now, this reference, I believe, has a better look to it. Oh, that pull stuff away. So we're going to go with a different view. And being that I'm using airbrush paint, I can just, just go right on top of it. So with any kind of paint, people should always be aware that you can paint in layers. If you mess up, may take some time and some effort, but you know, everything is possible. Gotta hope that the results are better than what I originally had.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the exciting adventure of the daily commute to the peace of mind that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service and...
So it's weird, what I have noticed is that when I play Spotify on the PS4, I actually get commercials, but when I play it on the computer, I don't get any actual commercials. I don't know what that's about. Where are we? We are over here. Eric Sandoval, good afternoon. The camera over your shoulder keeps going out of focus. Can you turn off autofocus? Oh, yeah, I probably have to have that on a stationary. Okay, good tip. Thank you, Eric. Let me see if I can do that adjustment. Oh, this camera is already running. Let's see what it'll do. So it seems, oh, can I change autofocus? There we go. Let's see if that changes it. I don't know if I don't know what I did something on the actual computer's camera settings. So hopefully that may have worked. I'll look into it, Eric. I appreciate the input. Yeah, because a lot of times, like I said, I have to the actual view that I'm looking at of the stream, it keeps freezing. So when I'm looking back at the computer, I'm also checking to see if the computer's still running. The computer I don't have a problem with now. I'm pretty certain it's not going to freeze up on me, and it's just going to continue to go. But worrying about the physical stream and knowing if it's running or not, that's the issue that I always fear. And I'm sitting here talking to myself and just wasting my breath. So this building has a lot more architecture that I may not have in the beginning realized was there. I didn't put the details as much. So I was trying to avoid kind of really producing the windows and having to do such a repeat pattern. But the windows at the top of the Chrysler building, I believe those are windows or some sort of formation of lights to brand that building, to give that building its unique look. Okay. So we will still come back and utilize these colors. What I did was I I reflected some light off of the building onto the Statue of Liberty, so we're going to have to put that back in there. Be careful not to ruin what I did on the Statue of Liberty. Oh, I know what I forgot today. I forgot to post this to some other web pages, but we're just going to continue. We're going to go on, and then maybe what I'll do is I will post them later on after the stream is done. All right, my stencil for Rockefeller stencil. Rockefeller stencil. The Rockefeller stencil keeps disappearing. Should be close by. Okay. That's weird. Do we need that? We do need that. Wow. Where did you go? So this is the negative part of it, or the positive. I always forget which one is which. This is the negative. That's the positive. But where's that goofy stencil? Okay, regardless, we're just gonna keep on crafting this building here. So my current goal right now is just to get this completed because I'm starting to get hungry. I'm hungry already. Hungry again. It's a very sharp one. So I kind of like the way that looks a little bit better. It looks more defining as the Chrysler building. To me, I can kind of see that starting to form a little bit better. So So what I'm trying to do is primarily darken out what was there and start to kind of sculpt and craft the arches that are, I guess, you know, the way that this building is made looks like these little designs are arches. So if anybody has any questions or comments, I'm here to communicate. And also want to kind of, you know, what do they say? Chew the fat. Okay, we got to work on that a little bit more. All right, I see what I'm trying to achieve here. The triangles are going to be the toughest to kind of really simulate on this angle. Hey, what's up? Yuki Tat Art. Yuki, you kitty art. How do you deal with colors running? So I don't understand what you mean by running. Do you mean by when I go to wash it, will the paint run? Is that the question that you mean, you kitty art? Will the into each other, black and white? Oh, how do I keep them from running into each other? So I suppose what you're referring to is how is the white canceling out the black and how does the black cancel out the white? And that's basically what I'm doing here right now. Is the black and white are opaque colors. They can cover one another with enough passes. Opaque white will, you know, completely get rid of the black if you cover it. So basically I'm trying to kind of sculpt the shapes and the forms that I want by using you know, the black to sculpt the white or the white to sculpt the black. And like I said, the airbrush is helping me, I guess, get very close to the area that I want to be. And depending on how I manipulate the trigger on the airbrush, you know, you're going to get varied results. So something that just happened there, which was weird, was I was kind of priming it, and when I was pulling it back, I primed the airbrush and a lot of paint ended up going on the needle, and when I pressed down in the air, a lot of spritz came out, but that's fine. Adds a little bit of texture. But it's something that in this stage I don't mind, because I'm really trying to clean this up and find the form that I'm looking for. So when I do airbrushing like this, there is like this I don't know, certain uncertainty, I would say, when I first start, and I'm trying to really visualize by, you know, making the line work the way I want it to be, and the way that I see it here on the reference, and hopefully it'll translate, and that'll look like the building that we're trying to achieve. So that's the Chrysler building. So do you use black to make the straight angles after? So if you get a chance, you kitty art, you can see some of the videos on YouTube and the progression of this jacket. So it took a while to kind of, for me to build up where the positioning of the buildings and the whole composition. Whenever I do a piece like this, I want the flow of the artwork to have this roundabout kind of like that, you know, the viewer's eye is going around the actual composition, around the image. Wherever you start, there should be something that leads you down to where you want people to, where you want people's eyes to be. Most of the weight of this composition, to me, is at the bottom. So these buildings pointing up, they don't do very much for bringing your eye back around, but it's almost like the attraction of seeing each individual one, you know, I hope kind of brings your eye back down to read it in the, you know, the manner that you want to read, you know, that it's supposed to be read, from left to right. But I can imagine, you know, if anybody sees this on the street, their eye may be caught by any object here, but you know, the main focus I was hoping was, you know, like a circular motion, so you kind of end up seeing everything. I see Nightbot just added something there. So yes, with the black lines, primarily I did a lot of the fleshing out the buildings with the white. I would use some black lines to kind of really make the buildings more solid, but once I go over it with the color, I still have to go over the black lines to make them sharp and to make them very clear. There's certain areas like down here that I still have to clarify those lines, especially once I, you know, put more details in the subway here. This line right here needs to be cleaned up. I think what happens over, you know, over painting it, some of the lines start to not fade away, but they when you color and then put an opaque on top, and then you put more color, you kind of fade out the sharpness of the line. So you always, at the end of the painting, I'll add a lot more highlights, or I'll add more black for sharpness of the detail. So I hope that answers your question, you kitty art. So I'm actually liking the way this building looks. The next thing is to color it, and I was trying to bring in a color that was different from this bridge and different from the Empire State Building. But I'll be satisfied to just get something that's maybe a little bit darker than what the bridge color is. And we still have to put some texture on the building, the bridge itself. Okay, so Yeah, this is going all right. Do you stretch in the reference first with fabric marker? Oh, you kitty art. Primarily when I do something like this now, how did I do this? How did I start this? I probably just went straight to Airbrush. I didn't, I believe with this one, I drew out a lot of this on the iPad. I sketched out and kind of was formulating the idea and moving the buildings around. And I will usually do a preliminary for the client so that they can, they can give me permission on, the design to move forward. So I believe with this one, I just sprayed white and I just started to kind of sculpt the buildings. It's not what I always do. Sometimes I will use stencils and stuff to really get a nice crisp line and positioning, but this time I just had to use complete freehand techniques to start building up this this artwork because there is no reference to it. All the buildings basically are not actual size, or I didn't get it from I didn't take each building exactly. I'm just trying to give it that overall essence, and hopefully people will recognize the buildings and this will be a nice piece of artwork by the end of it. Something like this, I knew in the beginning was going to be kind of difficult because I hadn't been doing airbrush artwork that was straight from my head. A lot of the artwork that I had been producing were, reproductions of somebody else's artwork, and that was my main thing that I had been doing with airbrush for a while. So I just darken that line up. Okay, that looks better. You kitty art, the best way, the easiest way, I suppose, of making stencils right now, my stencils tend to be one-time use stencils. So all I do is I will just print them out from the computer on a regular piece of paper. I cut them out with an X-Acto blade, and then on the back of it I'll spray adhesive, and that gives me enough tack. It's not too sticky. You got to let it dry a little bit so that way the stickiness doesn't stay on the fabric. But I generally have not had a problem with it. I guess over time you end up getting the understanding of how to make it work. So that's, yeah, I tend to always use spray adhesive. Okay. Yeah, you can, I was telling someone else how to make stencils. You can also use like file folders. Vinyl is you know, maybe out of your range or reach right now, but vinyl stencils, vinyl cut stencils are pretty good. Uh, then I also make freehand shields with a cutter. Can make the freehand shields primarily with a vinyl cutter. So one day I'm gonna do either a stream or an actual video showing some more of my tools and my techniques. But I'm getting, I guess, used to producing these videos and getting better at being on camera and kind of sharing my process. All comes in time. Okay, so I like the way that this looks. So we're going to kind of start moving on. We got to give it some color. And all this black is really just to set up for another step. That's fine. Okay. So, you Kitty Art, what kind of artwork do you do mostly? To answer your question, the material I like to work on the most, I would like to work on some more harder surfaces. I have not had the opportunity to paint you know, motorcycle parts in a little while, but I enjoy the way that the artwork comes out on a harder surface, on a surface that you know, has more rigidity, and you know, fabric is great because it's absorbent. But when you work on a hard material, you can get some very crisp edges. Either way, you can get very crisp edges, but you know, different methods of masking will work better on a harder surface than on a fabric surface. But all in all, I guess, you know, from my experience, I just try different things and hope that it works out. No, I think over time I've learned to make the paint work, you know, on each surface. There are some videos on my channel which are called Airbrush porous and non-porous items, and that was what I was doing last week, where, you know, the items that I was doing, either they were very porous like this jacket, or they were non-porous like a hard surface. And the porous stuff, it really soaks up the paint, whereas it almost doesn't even, you can keep adding it, and if you're not really aware of the proper way of adding the paint, it'll just keep seeping in and then make a mess. But you know, with this, I saw a video today of an artist, his name is Pt.5, I believe, and he's an oil painter, but he was trying his hand at painting acrylic paint onto a denim jacket, and he wasn't really aware of the full techniques, but he did a great job in producing the artwork. I just commented on his video and you know, added some of my own information as far as sealing the jacket and making sure that the artwork was, prepped for washing. But I believe, I'd like to just see his results. But I believe, um, you know, some of the things that he did in the beginning would really help the paint stick to the jacket. But when you're airbrushing, this paint is formulated to stick to the jacket. It's formulated. If you take all the right steps, the paint is going to seal itself with heat, and it's going to last over time. It's up to the customer to do all the rest, washing it correctly after they get it. I could only lead the horse to water. I can't make him drink. So I'm not saying my client is a horse, but I'm just saying that as advice. Okay, so it's a lot of back and forth between the black and the white. Airbrushing, I suppose just like using a paintbrush, you don't always get the expected results from, each stroke. You just got to go over it several times to get the result that you're looking for. Okay, I like the way that looks. We're gonna go with the color now, and see what happens here. Oh wait, thing I don't like. So I happen to be too much of a perfectionist, so it's gonna look weird and awkward to me regardless. Alright, do we have the brown set up? No, we do not. Alright, I have an idea. Just to get a unique color, I'm gonna try something else. So what I currently sprayed was a peach, and this peach is actually opaque, so it kind of, it's kind of going to dull my blacks, but that was somewhat the intention. So this week, I am definitely getting to cleaning brushes, so that way I have an airbrush on each color, and start getting ready for the season. Okay, transparent. I'm just gonna. That's not a bad. I like that color actually. I like that. Yeah, okay. It'll have some weight on its own. So we're still going to end up having to put a little bit of texture on that. And I hadn't thought about, let's see, maybe I should try to use this somehow. I'm trying to... So I'm trying to achieve something sort of like a brick pattern in here. So this is how we're going to do it. Sometimes you can take a stencil and move it around while you're spraying to get some interesting effects. Let's see if this works. Okay, I actually found that it's probably better to keep it stable, but I like the effects that I just created there. We're going to offset that. Yeah, we'll do that with a little bit of a brown. Okay. Okay. It's not amazing, but it's all right. So I'm going to add some more shading, I guess, to this part of the bridge. Yeah, I kind of like that. So one of the main things that I have to also do is the wiring on the bridge, and I wanted to get to a certain point where all of the details and the highlights are placed onto the bridge. And that's what we'll do next. Is let's fill in some of so this is like, I guess, the pathway where the cars would go through, and I want that to kind of be very obvious, so I'm going to highlight that with white. Basically, there's an outline around the whole composition, and I believe light would go through there. So hopefully people will not identify these as, you know, similar structure. That's what I was trying to avoid, is to kind of, if they were two different colors, you really wouldn't mistake them as the same structure, but they're very close in the value. So I'm gonna have to do something to, I guess, maybe take this face of the building and really, I'm gonna make it darker, so that way it really stands out. Gives it a bit of contrast against, you know, the composition. So that way you feel the three-dimension, you know, part of it, the three-dimensionality, I guess, of it, and bam, yeah. So what I think I'm gonna do is, purple is my go-to darkener. Believe it or not. Oh, you know what? I have a better color to use. I'm going to use Nurple. Not black, not purple. Okay. Since this one has not been used in a little bit, yep, we're going to poke a hole in it. Oh, okay. So sorry. Sometimes I forget to look at the comments. I had thought about finding, I want to find a way to have the comments kind of give me a sound notification or something. I'd say define the shadows behind. So one of the difficulties with airbrush artwork is really just getting your paint to work, your brush to consistently work, especially if you are changing colors. When you have brushes that you know, keep the same color on the brush, you don't really have that many those issues. Here we go. Here we go. It's coming. There it is. There, we got that. And hopefully on camera you can really see that. That change. To me, I like that. It really makes the building feel three-dimensional. It also separates this face from the bridge, and you will know now that that's certainly not part of the bridge. Alright, so now we have to bring in the lights, and then what I have planned is that on these darker edges, I'm going to put some highlights, and hopefully that'll give me this feeling that I'm trying to achieve with the arches on this building, and hopefully that'll wrap that section up. Do a little bit of cleaning, do the outlining, and then we could wrap that up. Then the ultimate part is coming down here and finishing these two items, and then I will clean up the last part of the word here and do the inside outline. So let's keep moving. What does it say? I'd say define the shadows behind the Statue of Liberty and the bridge. I hear what you're saying. I'm I'm trying my best not to cast any shadows. I was more or less using the I guess the feeling that light is coming off of a different object onto another object. That's why I reflected the light off of this Chrysler building onto the Statue of Liberty. And if you saw up close, a little bit of there's a little bit of gold off of this Empire State Building, and it's reflected onto the Freedom Tower, but very little. There's also a little bit of blue that I wanted to give the Statue of Liberty a little bit more oomph, so I gave it a rim light. And then we're going to see what we do with the Rockefeller Center guy. Alright, so I'm actually going to go into art mode, and let me get a sip of coffee, and I'm just going to boost through this. So there's a lot of other things that I'd like to manifest for the day. Certainly would like to produce something from the lesson that I purchased last night, Ariel Olivetti, on Domestica. I thought it was kept popping up, so I really enjoy his artwork, and I said, you know what, I'm going to put some money into my education for myself, and yeah, I can't wait to watch those videos. And the great thing is they are in Spanish, so regardless, I've realized that, you know, I've been trying to put Spanish back more into my life, or be influenced by it, or just to hear it more often, so that way I can get my tongue used to it and be able to communicate in Spanish, which I'm horrible. I only know school Spanish, and I just want to get better at it. So I figured if I purchase some tutorials, I'd be forced in Spanish, tutorials in Spanish, I'd be forced to kind of pull in the information, you know, at the same time I'm learning something. So I'll be able to pull in some Spanish lessons, as well as, you know, learn something with the art. So another thing that I want to say is I hope to produce some larger pieces this year. Jean jackets, clothing. It's been in my wheelhouse primarily because of space, and producing a large, you know, a large portrait or a large picture or something. It's kind of difficult in the space that I have now, but I'm going to find ways to make it work. I always find ways to make it work. Oh, and then there's also another project that I have set up, and I plan to probably do a small YouTube video just to address it, and kind of, I don't know, to get myself started on it. It's a personal project, so I'll fit that in whenever I can. But come back later, because I'm actually doing I wouldn't say a product reveal, but I purchased some sneakers online, and I thought they were really cool. So I'm going to try to customize those to coordinate with the belt. So I'm going to coordinate, not putting mushrooms on it, but I'm going to coordinate my boxing gloves, my weight belt, and these sneakers all together with a DBZ, a Dragon Ball Z theme, Brawly. I'm going to get Brolic on it, because I was I was referred to as brolic, I believe. Was it brolic? So shout out to Lisette. That was a I'm going to utilize your reference to Brawley, your reference to brolic, and create that as a Brawley. Brawley. I like the colors too. This neon green. It's pretty crazy. The other gloves. So we're going to do something with the gloves. We'll figure it out. We're probably going to put it right here. So that way the artwork doesn't get too messed up. Because I'm still going to utilize these. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay. Okay. I like that. I like that. Liberty, 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 liberty. Trying to get a better view of her hand. So I don't want to get in front of the camera so much, but I kind of have to get the right angle. Ooh, that's a tough sell right there. Oh boy. Oh, you're in art mode yourself. It's good to hear, you kitty art. What kind of work are you doing right now? So the one thing I always worry about when I do streaming is the the downtime when you don't hear me speaking. I hope that I'm still remaining entertaining or providing something of interest here. So Statue of Liberty is actually, I used a couple different colors. So that's a tough one. Ugh. It's not easy to get the indication of fingers here. I don't want it to look like she's got a big glove on her. Oh, nice pencil sketch. That's great. Um, I've set up what they call the Discord. But I haven't utilized it yet. And eventually, what I will be doing, I suppose, will have any of my viewers, I guess, post their artwork to the Discord while so I can kind of see what they're doing, and I'll post my artwork there as well. And I just want to kind of build that habit of posting. A lot of things that I need to do that I don't get around to. Okay, so there's not much I can do. I feel like I'm making it uglier. We'll get this. We'll get this. That didn't feel right. Okay, so That may help a little bit. Let's see. Okay, I don't want to let a hand stop my progress, but I want to have that right look. Ugh, I'm messing that up. Okay, that I didn't expect. Let's see. Ugh. It's so funny how when you're trying to draw something out and you don't have the reference, it just, especially hands. Hands are one of my biggest weak points, I suppose. It's very hard to translate what you see in your head to what should be there. going at a downward angle. And it should always have been upward. Okay, that feels a little bit better. That's what it was. My approach was the fingers were slanting in the wrong direction. Okay, that's convincing enough to me. And I realized so I think I've been streaming for a while here. Oh, going on an hour and a half. So I don't really know how long these streams are really supposed to be. I was trying to achieve having everything finished by the end of this, so we'll just keep on going. There'll be some stuff that I'll end up doing off camera, but I want to get it to the point where I can feel like it's finalized. And we're getting close. Okay, so let's do these triangles on this building. And hopefully this will set correctly in my head. About 5 triangles. It's gonna be weird. Alright, so I'm going to have to go with a little less detail for these lights. And hope that it kind of, the representation is there, you know? It's not perfect, but I think it is gonna do. It better do. Okay, and then there's so what we did was we went from a raspberry to a cyan. Okay. Alright, here's my idea. Here's what I will do. Let's see. Okay, not perfect, but I think it'll work for what I want it to. All right, it's not bad, not fantastic, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Kind of works. I think it works. Let's do this. Okay. Whoops, that wasn't cool. Just dropped an airbrush. Okay, it's not bad. Well, I'll try and fix stuff about it later on. I'm gonna move ahead. Clean up some lines here. Okay, I can put the wires in there now. Okay, so I tried my best not to obscure the details of the bridge, so that way it kind of still recognizable. Got the wires in there, and I'd like to put both sides on there, but it's gonna confuse the hell out of it. Let me do this though. Oops. I didn't mean to make that part so dark. Let's do this. Okay, that looks cool. We're gonna forget the flag, and let's finish up the subway here. Subway. Okay, there's a detail I need. Ah, you sucker. Color just splatted. So that's the famous A train. Okay, just trying to put detail without putting too much detail. Clean it up. Okay, subway looks recognizable. Okay, so now let's get this side part looking right. So the weird thing about the subway is that it doesn't really have sharp edges. Only on the outside of the outline is the edges really sharp. Everywhere else is kind of like a flattened facet. So here, this is what I need to do. I'm going to use a shield to give me a little bit of a line that I won't be able to do freehand. Okay, I just wanted to give that a little bit of dimension. Okay, that helps. So some of it I'm trying to hide some of the details. I don't want to put too many details. Just want you to be able to tell what it is. And that actually works for me. A couple more highlights. All right, is anybody still with me? You Kitty Art, I do try to do some digital art. I'm doing that. A lot of background, you know, when I do some studies, and I would like to do a set of figure drawing study videos. That will help my practice, and then also put something out there. Perfect. So I just tried to do a couple of repeat patterns. And that'll do it. So I'm like right in the area now where I think I'm going to outline this lettering. Let's finish up the lettering part. Actually, let's do the Rockefeller guy. I think my bottle is, yeah, my bottle of white is empty. So with the temperature changing now, my ratio of paint will change as well when it comes to this white. We have to get some more TNT opaque white. I will mix that with my Wicked white, because the Wicked white is very thick, and I want a viscosity that will not keep tip drying and will flow through the gun more readily. So we'll figure the balance out off camera, but right now I just needed to add some paint in there. We're getting to the point where you have to use the bathroom. So I'm going to put a couple more details on this, and then we're going to wrap up this session. Possibly come back a little bit later to show off the Brawley boxing project. The Brawley boxing. Brawley boxing. White. Wow, it's already 5 o'clock. It's so weird because with the light that's coming into the garage, I can almost feel the time. I can definitely tell that the sun was setting, and it's a better indicator than, I suppose, looking at the clock, that the day is going. Almost dinner time. I didn't even have lunch. What'd you say, scenery or portrait? I don't know what that question was pertaining to, you kitty art. So we still have to go in and make these buildings a little bit more solid. I like what I did with the bridge. The bridge is okay. I may put, nah, I'm gonna worry about that. The hand, it's all right. We're gonna darken that a bit more, but I like the light that's coming off of it. Looks good. Forgot to put the reflective light here. Okay, can't all be winners. We also had planned on doing some more shading in the Statue of Liberty because I wasn't too keen on the look. I don't want to go overboard with the black, but the black can ruin it really quick. A bit of highlight on her face, that might help. Okay, that makes her a little bit more attractive. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Okay, I like that. Now, I keep losing, like I said, I kept losing my stencil. There it is. For the Rockefeller Center. Kind of need that just to get the line work situated here. Rockefeller. No. Wow, so I really like what I did with this subway car. So what I want to point out is that I emphasize the front and the side with the windows. It doesn't have much detail. It has an emphasis of detail, so it kind of it works for me. It's good. So now we just got to clean up this Rockefeller. Keep losing the reference image that I was using. This one will have to do. Okay, so that kind of gives me the impression of the way that the globe looks. Alright. So with this one, I basically just used the cutout to give me an idea of the positioning of everything. And that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm spraying very little over the stencil, and what that does is it kind of leaves a light area, and that's where I'm going to put the paint. Get the details on this guy is going to be tough as well. All right. I've actually been holding UKDR. Let's see. I think my Discord is, I don't know. I don't know if that's, I don't know if this is it. I don't know if that's how you can find me. UKDR. I think that's what I named it. In all honesty, I'm not looking at it right now. I'm going to have to use the bathroom. I've been holding off for quite a while. I got to go do this. I'll be right back. getting close here. So a lot of the Rockefeller details, I haven't figured out how I'm going to make him kind of stand out from that. So there's little areas that I can put highlights on that will change the contrast and make that kind of come up to the forefront. So one of the toughest things to do is when your reference doesn't have much, clarity to the detail. It's very hard to see exactly what you're drawing. The one thing that I hope is that the image itself is it reads well. So with an image this size, you end up having to sacrifice the details so that way it reads well. See, that's a little funky. It's not bad. It's not horrible. It's not complete. Okay, that looks good. I need to round that out a little bit more. Good, looks good. Now a little bit of outlining, and then I will call this one a wrap, at least the stream, and then I'll do some of the other details off camera. So we're going to finish up this portion right here, and then we're going to call it a night, or call it a stream. Okay, it's another step closer. Okay, so you end up sometimes forgetting some rules that I set up for myself. Does cross it there. So sorry that I'm very quiet while I'm doing this part of it, because it's... How long does this usually take you? Each project is very different. Kitty Art. This project has gone on way too long. Primarily because this was a project that I had to do a lot of figuring out on my own. There was no complete reference. And then my other main obstacle was the weather. I work from my garage at home. And the winter season was extremely cold. Very hard to get out here and work efficiently. So this one took me a lot longer than I expected. Okay, don't want to get lazy on the last couple of strokes. Okay, that looks clean. Clean up the black. Okay, I lock that. I lock it a lot. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to do on camera for today for this piece. I'll probably do some other changes and details off of camera, but I just wanted to kind of get to this point where it was, you know, pretty close to finalized. See that up close. That's what the front looks like. So this was one heck of a project, but we're going to call this one pretty much done. We're going to go to sign it later on. But all the detail work is done. All the composition, I like it. I like it a lot. I like the way it came out. Gonna fix a couple of things, but yeah, had no idea how this was going to look or, you know, come out once I was completed, but I'm very happy with the results. Yeah. All right. So as I said, I'm gonna get to eating and relaxing for a little bit, and I hope to come back with another stream to show off you know, the start of a new project, and then I would like to do some more digital artwork on camera. So I actually set up some things with the iPad so I can stream, hopefully, you know, the actual Procreate from there. But thanks you Kitty Art. I really appreciate you know, that you were there watching the stream. It didn't feel lonely, and it was a very good experience, because a lot of times I realize when you talk out what you're going to do, sometimes it comes out better, because you're kind of, you know, you're mentally walking your way through it, and verbally talking it out tends to help with the process. So yeah, I hope that once I press this, that I won't find anything that I need to go back on. But yeah, I like it. All right. So I'm going to sign out, and thank you once again to my YouTube crowd out there. If you get to watch the video, please leave some comments, smash the like and the subscribe button, maybe hit the bell notification so that way you will be advised when I'm going to produce another video. Haven't come you know, kind of put together a good schedule yet. I just want to press record and get started when I do, and you know, usually it's a little bit wacky, you know, times during the day, so you'll have to hit that bell notification to let you know when I'm going to be streaming again. But yeah, I just looked up and I realized that I turned off the music a while ago, so we'll get used to that. We'll get better at all of these things. But I appreciate anybody that you know, joins me and you know, leaves comments. It's always motivating, and you know, helps me want to press that record button. So fantastic. Here we go. Another one. You know, we're gonna sign it down here in the corner somewhere, but we'll do that off camera. I usually use a pen marker. Yeah. So there it is. All right, folks. Signing off. Thank you very much. Stay creative.